Hey guys, it's Brenna, the CEO and co-founder of The Mortgage Shop. So the last time we met and spoke, we were speaking about 10% down on second home loans and how other lenders were saying that, yeah, we may offer the 10% down, but the points for that interest rate were going to cost 15 to 20% down or exceed that. So it was not really a 10% down loan. And as you know, we discovered that that was a lie and we demythed them per se. And so now I want to bring you, I said, if you do have the 20% down and you want to put it down, you can, or you can just do the 10% down second home or the 15% down investment, like whatever you want to do. But let's talk about if you did have that 20% down, but you're like, well, why would I put 20% down when I'm getting about the same interest rate as I would with 10% down second home? So that's a legitimate question because the interest rates right now are pretty comparable. Even if you put 10% down or 20% down on these investment properties, you're looking at, 6%, 6.25, 6.375, getting in the 6.5% range right now. And I see a lot of people saying, well, the numbers don't work for me, which is understandable. If the numbers don't work for your personal situation, then, that's totally fine. However, are you saying that, or are you actually doing your homework and doing the numbers and seeing if they actually work? Or do you think you just see that interest rate and it doesn't work? What if you could do 20% down and you could have an interest rate like we had pre-COVID that were the normal investment interest rates, which will probably come back at the end of this year. But what if you could have it now? Well, I'm going to let you know that you can have it now, and that's through ARMs, which is an abbreviation for adjustable rate mortgages. And so it scares a lot of people because they don't know what that means. They think it's going to adjust like every month and their interest rate could be like 10%. And that's not true at all. And so I'm going to go through different ARM options, two of the most popular ones with you today, and explain it and actually show you these interest rates that you're going to love. A hint, they are not in the 6% range. So they're really awesome. So let me share my screen and explain to you what ARMs are. Okay, so ARMs, or adjustable rate mortgages, are what they are. They're fixed for a certain period of time and then they adjust. So let's look at a 7/6 ARM example. You probably see this like, oh, you have a 7/6 ARM. Well, what does that mean? So let's say the interest rate is 6%, which is not going to be, but let's just say it is. So the 6%. So the 7 in that 7/6 ARM example, it means that it's fixed for the first 7 years at whatever interest rate you locked in at. So if you locked in at 6%, you would be, for the first 7 years of that loan, you'd be at 6%. It could not change. It's locked just like a 30-year fixed. It will not change on you. So I want to preface by saying, why wouldn't somebody do this if they have a lower interest rate? Because you can refinance at any point within these 7 years. If you've looked at the economy for the last 20 to 30 years, you know that there's ebbs and flows of these interest rates. So you know that you will be able to refinance at some point within these next 7 years. So first number fixed for that first 7 years. After the 7 years is up, let's go to that second number. The 6, so 7/6, what does that 6 mean? After the 7 years are up, the interest rate then can change once every 6 months. So that's what the 6 stands for. So you fixed for the first 7 years. On the 8th year, your interest rate can adjust once every 6 months, so twice a year. So we talked about the last number, the 6. The 6 equals it can change once every 2 years. So after that, ARMs, or adjustable rate mortgages, can always and will always have what's known as caps. So make sure you ask your loan originator what the caps are on the loan. So caps tend to look like this. It's a 525 cap. So what does that mean? So you've got a 7/6 ARM. You know what that 7 means now. You know what that 6 means now. What does that 525 caps mean? Or 515 caps. So in our scenario, on our 7/6s and our 10/6 ARMs, we have a 515 cap. So let's take our scenario with the 6% and go through that. So the first 5 in these numbers means that the initial interest rate change, so the first interest rate change after the first 7 years cannot increase or decrease by 5%. So if the economy went crazy and the interest rates were at like 14%, it doesn't matter because it cannot increase or decrease by that 5%. The second number, so we've covered the 5, the second number means that with each increase after the initial one, so after the initial one, keep that in mind, with each increase, the rate cannot increase or decrease by 1% of that previous rate increase. So let's say you had a 6% and it increased to 7%. All right, so the next increase could not go above 8%, or it could not go below 6%. The third number, so we went through 5, we went through 1, now we're going to go back to the third one, which is 5 as well. The third number means that the interest rate for the life of the loan, so the whole total loan, so the 30-year AM, so these are still 30-year amortized loans, for the life of the loan cannot increase or decrease by more than 5%. So the same as it goes for the first number, they're both the same number. Sometimes that can be different, but most of the time, a lot of times those two numbers are the same. So it cannot increase or decrease in total by more than 5%, which in this situation means the interest rate could not be higher than 11%. So the 6% rate plus 5% rate increase. So the 6% was our initial one that we locked in at, right? Or it could not go lower than 1%, which would be great if it went down to 1%. So initial rate, remember, is 6% minus that 5% rate decrease. So that's what that third and final number means in your caps. So now you should be a pro at this arm explaining and which arms you want. So you can go to your lenders prepared, and it sounds like you know what you're talking about, and hopefully they do too. If they don't, go with a different lender. But yeah, 7-6 arm. So first number, the first 7 years it's fixed. The second number is the number of times in a year. So 6 months, every 6 months, the rate can adjust. And then your 515 caps that we just went over. So how are these rates calculated? Like, how do we get these rates? It's not, it's not rates that we look at on Fannie Mae products, right? So adjustable rates are comprised of what's called an index plus margin. Index plus margin. And this isn't really something you have to know, but if you're nerdy like me and you're curious, like, where do these rates come from? This is what I'm going to tell you. So indexes are the interest rates determined by whatever benchmark company that the investor that we're using goes off of. So, or, the lender that's whoever they work with. So the popular benchmark companies right now are the CMT, which is the Treasury, COFI, which stands for Cost of Funds Index, and SOFR, which stands for Secured Overnight Financing Rate. Margins are what the lender comes up with, like the person that is doing the money. So they have to come up on the back end on cover the cost of what they're doing basically for that loan. So cover the cost of lending, cover the cost of selling to the secondary market, all of that fun stuff. So it's comprised of that index, which the benchmark companies come up with, and the margin, which the company that is lending the money, these investors, these underwriting companies are lending. They are the ones that come up with the margin. Margins usually are a fixed percentage, or it can be off of the person's credit score. But a lot of times I just see that it's a fixed percentage. I'm not the one that comes up with these. It's like the higher ups that are lending all this money out and selling to the secondary market. It's those people that come up with their own margins. So that's what comes behind that interest rate. So let's say it's the 6%. What comprises that interest rate is the index from the companies, the benchmark companies, and the margins from the lenders that are providing that product for you. So let's look at the best part of this. Let's look at the current interest rates. And this is where I'm really excited to show you, because I hope that everybody gets excited and sees that, yeah, they can put that 20% down if they want to and get a lot lower interest rate and be good. So a 7-6 arm right now, let's do a second home, 20% down. Let's just do a higher one. 1 million purchase price, $800,000 loan amount. Today's rates, remember this is today, so it's not going to be every day. This is just based off of today's rates. As you know, they can go up and down every day or multiple times a day. So we're at 5.375% with only a 0.475 of a point charge, which is insane. I haven't seen a 5.375 interest rate in a very long time. So remember from the other video that we're talking about, what do points mean for these interest rates? It means a charge or percentage of the loan amount. So 0.475% times your loan amount of $800,000 is $3,800. So it's $3,800 for that interest rate. Now, let's look at a 10-6 arm. The base price for the 10-6 arm is 5.5% with a 0.248 charge, which means 0.248% times 5.5 or times your loan amount, which is $1,984. So $1,984 charge. Again, that would be fixed for 10 years, guys. So a little bit of a bump up in the interest rate because you'd be having your loan fixed for 3 more years. But that's insane because when do they sell like their properties? Usually people only hold their properties 3 to 5 years. So 7-6 arm covers you. If you're planning on holding it longer, a 10-6 arm definitely covers you. And in those 10 years, you can refinance. So let's look at the investment property loan. So, in jumbos, you do have to put that on that 20% anyway. So let's just look at the arms because you're putting 20% down anyway. So why not use an arm? So again, 20% down, 1 million purchase price, $800,000 loan amount, 7-6 arm. The same interest rate, guys, as a second home, 5.375% with only a 1.475 charge. So that's quite a bit more than the second home. However, these interest rates for 30-year fixed are like 6.275, 6.375, and you're paying like 1.5 to 2 to 2.5 points, which is insane. So, and you're already putting down that 20%. So please, if you're trying to cash flow and you're smart, this is the option I would recommend. A lot of people are scared because they're like, what if after the 7th year goes up to 20%, which the history shows that it most likely will not go up that 20%. But however, just refinance before that arm hits that point. For 10-6 arm, again, same exact rate as the 10-6 for the second home with only a 1.248 charge. So it's just a point higher in charge than that second home loan. And again, as opposed to your 6.25% interest rate with like a 2-point charge. So that's why I wanted to bring you these arms, guys, to you today to explain. All right, so stop sharing my screen with the arms. Just wanted to bring that to you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We are available every day. You can call in at 800-816-7982. You can come to my mortgage shop prep class that I do every Wednesday, kind of go over the different products. It's not so much rate heavy as just describing the different products for you and which ones would benefit you versus somebody else. And that's mortgageshopprep.com, or just visit us at mortgage.shop to see all those options, and you can meet the team and everything like that. So I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope this helps you on your path to creating generational wealth. Now, I can't. Now, oh, get the hell out. Get me whatever stuff. Stop sharing my screen. What is wrong with my camera? Well, okay, now it's not blurry. All right.